Circle members, so hi everyone. So you want to wave to the camera? This is our group here in Cape Town, where we are just going through this thing here. I'm just going to get a bit of an idea from everyone here how this went. We went through basically customer pathway, which is what are your scores 0 to 10 of having an automated flow of customers. Talent pathway, which is 0 to 10, how much you got an automated flow of not people paying you money, but people who are now getting paid money, which is including partners. And then capital pathway, which is blue level, which is now you've got a flow of people who are going to be actually giving you capital, and you've got to like build a business this way. Anyone want to volunteer? What were your scores? Debbie, what did you come up with on these ones?
On the first one, I'm very much there at the moment.
Yeah.
And the business is very much driven by me.
So 0 to 10 scale, you gave?
3.
3. 3. Oh, 3 out of 10. Yeah. So you got it, but you're the one running it, right? Talent?
Really. I've got the right people in place, but they need to build on their skills, and we need to come up with the right plan.
Yeah. So 0 to 10 on that one?
Probably also 2, 3.
Also 2 or 3, right? And this one you're not really doing at the moment,
not.
right? So this becomes the number one priority right now on the first one. Hands up who had this first one being priority, which is just getting the customer pathway in place. Okay, who's more the second one, which is getting the talent pathway in place? All right, okay, so it's mainly around those two. So I want to share something really important about this first one and how the world is now changing. And this is something some of you already know of that we're doing Entrepreneur 5.0, which is that if you take 4.0, people really had to make a decision, am I going to do this all digitally, right? Like have a digital funnel, or I'm going to do this like, in person, where I'm going to have like, a sales funnel, right? Like, or an event funnel or something like that as well. And we're going to now a world where it's high touch and high tech together, where they get built together. And I want to share with you, and this is like the 5 steps, where these 5 steps here, insight, impact, income, high touch, high tech, is about having a funnel on the first one that we're going to design that has all of this together. And the most important thing, which is this one here, that I want to just cover right now on the income side, is that the 5 steps are a different 5 steps from a normal funnel that you need to design. So this here is the heart of an Entrepreneur 5.0 business, which allows you to have a scalable business where you're not adding complexity, but you're multiplying simplicity. And the thing that you're multiplying is this thing here. It is a self-growing, self-improving, automatic cash-generating engine. I mean, think about a cell in a body. It has the ability to create flow and create another cell, right? And then it actually then grows into 4 cells. And so you end up with trillion cells, which start from 1 cell. So think about having that in your business, where you just create the DNA in the business, which just grows on itself, which is not what a funnel does, right? It's not when you have to be there pedaling. And the most important thing is thinking about this in nature. This already happens in nature. In nature, this here is one piece of what you'd find in nature, which you could call a stream or a river, and we call this a sales funnel. And so this is how 4.0 worked. It's like, as long as I have a really good way to go and get cold leads, turn them into warm leads, turn them into prospects, turn them into sales, then I'll be happy, right? And if that customer is happy when they're leaving me, done a good job, right? That's not good enough anymore. And the reason it's not good enough anymore is it makes 2 big assumptions. One assumption it makes is you're gonna have an unlimited flow of new people coming your way, right? Which is just not the case, because they're all busy going somewhere else. The second thing is it also assumes that a customer just wants to be a happy customer at the end, and that's it. Which also isn't true, because we know all of the best customers today actually want to be your partners by the end. They actually want to be your advocates. They actually want to go out there and grow the movement. So if you don't have a way to do what happens in nature, which is not just have the river, but create the rain before the river actually starts, and have an automatic way that the rain and your rainmaking keeps growing, but also at the end, that all of the people that are your customers, they are not just your customers, but they're actually now bringing on other customers. They're actually now becoming your partners. They're actually now sharing with others. If you don't have an easy, simple way that happens automatically, you're never going to have the river continue to grow. And the most important thing about rainmaking is not about trying to get people in just because they're part of your funnel. They can go join other people's funnels. It's fine. But the fact is you're adding to the movement. And on the last part, it's all about not just trying to get people to go out there and build a business around your business. Hey, if they go out and build a business around other things, brilliant, because they're still going to be an advocate of yours. And that water, some of it somewhere will find its way back to you as well. So the most important thing about each of these 5 is that you can actually score each of these, which is what I'd like you to do, right? And because we're doing this for Entrepreneur TV as well, score it yourself on here and put it down below on the recording as well, that these 5, you can actually be asking yourself this question and say, to what extent are you actually doing these 5 things? And then when we actually walk through today the funnels, and then we actually say, how do we turn that into a cycle, a value cycle that's ongoing, what would that look like? So step number 1 here. And let me just read this at the top, it's super important. Entrepreneur 4.0, which is basically you go from industrial age, which is 3.0, to the information age, which is 4.0, to the impact age, which is 5.0, where everything can happen automatically, right? Because we've got the technology to do it now. Entrepreneur 4.0 had to choose between non-scalable offline customer pathways, which is what many of you have. It's non-scalable, it's offline, you kind of got to create it yourself and then manage it yourself, or high-value products or scalable online customer pathways. So like, you have a bit of both, right? And some of you have a bit of both. It's like got one, got the other. Now it's about changing all of that, because these are workable pathways that actually fall in effectiveness over time, which we see. So email marketing doesn't work the same way, social media doesn't work the same way. Entrepreneur 5.0 combines high tech and high touch to create predictable, automated, self-improving pathways that use AI. So we use chatbots and other things to self-correct, and also use human connection to scale effectively and sustainably in such a way that people say, I want you to come along and experience this thing, right? And so score on a 0 to 10, each of these one by one, right? First one, followers, which is actually getting those people that actually are willing to pay you attention. What is your diamond, the sparkle, that sparkles from a distance? This will be your story. So to what extent do you have a story in your company, which is part of a movement that attracts attention of new followers from multiple sources? So this might be in the case of, we use videos, we use posts, we use assessments and guides and things that allow people to go, I want to be igniting my genius, I want to be part of the entrepreneur movement, and that's our customers. But we'll have lots of people doing that every single day. We have about 35,000 a week that are showing up doing this, and many of them will never be our customers. But we're rainmaking with all of those people that are actually showing up and doing that. So ask yourself, 0 to 10. To what extent with like healthy candy, are you actually out there spreading the word in the way that people are going spreading with other people? To what extent with like, dairy-free alternatives, do actually people, are they doing that? So 0 to 10, score, right? Are you actually doing that, or is someone in your team doing that right now? Okay. Second thing is, once you have that going, which means you've got all these people coming, then the second thing, community, which is people who says, that was worth my attention, which is a follower. Now I'm going to invest some of my time. So now they're actually coming over and they're going to be doing something with you because they're part of a free course, or because they're part of a download, or they're part of something. And this might be a small percentage of these people here. This is the gold dust. This is the opposite of marketing. So marketing is when you're spending money, spend $1 to make $2. This is when you're spending 0 to make $2. So it's like, how do you do that? And you do it by having something which is viral enough that people are already telling people without you needing to be the one doing it. So gold dust is, what is your zero cost scalable gold dust that grows and engages your community to invest their time, and also to share it in trackable ways, so that you're actually having them all share as they go. So something like Genius Test for us is gold dust, because every day there's hundreds of people that actually take it without us spending money on it, and then they're sharing it with their friends. The same happens with Wealth Dynamics, which as a test, people are actually paying money for. So we actually make money as they're sharing it. So to what extent do you have something that is valuable enough that people go, oh, I want to share that with others? And even if it's B2B, there's ways for you to do this that actually makes people want to go out and tell the people in their company, this is something we should all be using, right? So do you have that, 0 to 10, right? Second thing. By the way, we won't do this all on video, but I will go through a couple of examples straight after this with some of you in the room of how to actually up your business by putting these in place. Third thing, prospects, right? So now we're getting into what you see as a traditional funnel, but these words here are critical. Prospect is someone who's saying, I'm not just paying you attention, I'm not just paying you time, I'm now paying you a decision, right? Which means I'm actually physically showing up on a page to decide, do I want to buy this thing or not? And at this point, it's not about buy, it's about what's the experience you're giving that person. What's the experience that makes them go, that was a great experience. So we'll do things like, for example, one-to-one debriefs, where the one-to-one debrief will be like a 30-minute session. So you're on the website, you go, oh, this looks really interesting. It's like, this is good enough for me that I'm going to take one of these debriefs. You book in for one of the debriefs. One of our Genius Igniters gets on the call with you, and the whole focus on the call is to say, look, we're going to take 30 minutes of your time to really help you to get to where you want to get to in life, to design where you want to get to. And if we can make that really high impact and you get great value out of it, at the end of it, I'll ask you, do you want to know how we can do more together? Because there's probably a way we can work together. And by the end of that 30 minutes, they are so like, that was amazing. What do you want to know? No. Yes, I do want to know more. And at that point, they already have got a much higher level of trust, because you weren't there looking to sell them anything. You were there simply turning them into a buyer, right? Which is that they say, that was so worth my time and decision. I'm now going to make that decision and come on and buy. Right? So this here, which is the one which says experience, which is what is the high-touch, high-tech experience you are delivering so prospects can build trust in your problem solving and make a decision to buy. Like, what is that one thing? So I'll give you an example of that, right? Something like natural candies, right? Natural candies could be something like, let's do an assessment of how healthy your kitchen is. right? And then it's like how healthy your kitchen is all about, like let's list down what are the top things that you actually have in the kitchen that are the sweet things, are your safe, and then, well, here you're a 2 out of 10, right? And this is why, right? And here's some key things you can do to change that. And so straight away someone goes, oh, this is really valuable, right? Like I'm gonna actually go on this, I'm gonna tell my friend about this as well. So you've actually created this experience for them, which actually says, now I want to really know how to make that change. And then this one here, and that's almost always high touch. Like very difficult always to do that high tech, which is why most people actually see that the conversion rates online are going down because we're just not doing that well. This one here, which is now the next step, which is the first time your customer now gets an experience with you, your onboarding experience with your customer is even more important than your product. So I'll say that again, so important. Your onboarding experience with your customer, how much they feel that you actually care about them, is more important than even the product itself. Because and that's why unboxing is such a big deal. That's why the whole experience of actually someone coming on board. And so this one here, which is the transformation, not the transaction, but the transformation, is about what is the high-touch, high-tech transformation that all your customers will have that's worth their money, so they return and recommend you. They're like, I want my friends to experience what I just experienced. So if you're not thinking through what is that actual transformation someone's going through, here's where you are, where would you like to go, here's how we can get you there. If you're not doing that in a really powerful way, you're not going to bring them on board. I'll give you an example, adventure travel, right? You could either say adventure travel starts when they get on the plane and they show up. We'll do things like having our accelerator programs. The experience doesn't start when someone gets on the plane and shows up. The experience starts the moment they join, and then after that, they're getting all of the materials, they're getting the success stories, they're getting the videos, they're getting excited. They're already sharing with their friends about what they're coming on before they're on it, and their friends already are buying it as well before they've even had the product. So this is about who do you want actually to have this experience with in such a way that your perfect avatar then shares it with the people around them. And so what are you doing on this 0 to 10? And then the final one is this one here, which is the most important one. This one here, which is the golden halo, which is where you now have raving fans. Most companies will say as their core measure of success at the end is a customer satisfaction form of some sort. There's a very big difference of what is your customer satisfaction score and what is your net promoter score. So net promoter is basically a measure of the level to which your customers are so happy with your product they will promote you to their friends, right? So the end point is not, are you happy enough with our stuff that you are happy? It's, are you happy enough with our stuff you actually want to go and tell your friends about it? And if they go, yes, I am, then give them a way to do that. Or give them a way to actually join and be one of your partners. When you do that, so many of you have products and things that if you actually were making that the actual prize. With Debbie, for example, with all of your bedding, amazing beds, the moment you say, right, we're giving away one of the beds, right? And we're giving it to one of the top designers, and this is your bed, right? And we're going to give it to you because of what you're going to be doing over the next 3 months. We're going to have a competition, right? And the competition is who actually can go out and create the most incredible designs within your interior design, right? And the winner's going to get the free bed. And so everyone's now actually wanting the product as well as basically the earnings. And then you then are able to feature top designers who are now using your beds, right? Which then itself then becomes something which is also a golden halo that makes others want to actually be part of that group as well. So this whole idea of what is the golden halo you nurture around your pathway that creates automatic self-improving growth in your customers, and also in your partners, which means that the customers become the partners then grow to others. So we do that, for example, with our events we're running around the world. We have the Entrepreneur 5.0 events, and they're all run by city leaders, where those city leaders are earning money running the events. We run the events where the city leaders come to us. We don't start by just saying, let's go do an event. And most of the city leaders, in fact, I think all of them, they started as our customers. They started as people that were using our tools. They actually they've got their own businesses, running them in their own ways, but then they got so into what we were doing that they said, hey, we want to build a community. From that, they then built a community, and then now we want to run an event. And now we have a golden halo around the world, which means that we actually make more money and have more growth through this halo around our core team than we do from the team itself. And that allows everything then to just evolve and grow, and then more rain pours, and then the river just gets bigger and bigger as you go. And we're seeing that growth that we're getting is the same growth that you're seeing in all the exponential businesses today that just have a digital layer tracking to have this growth take place as you go. So 5 different areas, score each one of them 0 to 10, and then we'll then go through a bit of a debrief of what that looks like and how you can then transform the business using those 5. And for the ETV, I'm gonna stop the showing now, but hope that was valuable and see you at one of our events. See you later, bye.